Hello and welcome back to the Goodness Margin, the place where we find margin for the good things in life. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some vacation packing tips. According to Forbes.com, this year, 2023, will be another record-breaking year for vacation travel. Everyone's ready to go on vacation, and so I want to share with you some of my favorite packing tips. When we are driving to a vacation, we will leave maybe one afternoon or one day after work and get a few of those hours under our belt, stop at a hotel, and so then we can drive on and get to our vacation destination a little bit earlier in the day than rather driving the entire trip in one day. For whatever reason, typically when we're driving home, we'll just push it and go ahead and get home. But going there, sometimes we break up the trip. So one of my favorite tips is to pack a bag that's a separate bag that I put the pajamas, all of the undergarments, the clothes that we're going to need just for that one evening and for the next day. Also our toiletries. And that way, when we get to the hotel, especially if we're going to be gone for several days or for a week, we're not bringing all of our luggage in. I'm just grabbing that one bag. So my first tip is that if you're having just one stop for one night, think about having just one small bag that you can just take that in the hotel, take that in the place you're staying, and that will make it very easy for you. My second tip won't be a surprise to you as a minimalist, but it is to pack light. According to Courtney Carver, she gives a tip of packing for half your trip. And this is really such a great tip. So many times we can really reuse clothing. I know there's times that we've gone to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and so we'll do something fun during the day. Maybe it's outside, then we'll come home, we'll shower, and we'll get ready for dinner. Well, I'll change my clothes and my daughter's clothes, obviously, and we'll wear something else to dinner. But we've only had those clothes on for a couple of hours. We can easily reuse that outfit for another time. And so if you really think outside the box, you can pack for half the trip and still have plenty of clothing. And if you're going to be gone for several days, think about just taking a couple of hours in the middle of a day to do a load of laundry. If your favorite detergent is a powder detergent or maybe even those pods, then you can put those in a Ziploc bag. But if you're like me and I use a liquid detergent, I'll just use one of those little travel little refillable bottles, and then I'll also put it in a plastic bag additionally to make sure nothing spills out. But that way I have some detergent with me just in case I need to do a load. This really makes a big difference. You're in a small space together. You don't want to have a ton of stuff to unpack. You don't want to have stuff everywhere. So pack light. When we're flying, we almost always only do carry on. And it's amazing that when we're really intentional about the stuff we bring, we use what we have and we don't have a ton of extra stuff with us. So pack light and maybe think about trying to pack for only half of the time that you're going to be on your trip. The third tip is to have a laundry bag. This one right here is one of my favorite little laundry bags, and I will link it in the notes below. You can unzip it and open it up and it turns into a full laundry bag. Another thing that I love about this is I can tell you this is one that I've personally owned. And I have washed it multiple times because you have stinky clothes in here. So you can take this laundry bag and you can fill it up and then stuff it in a suitcase to bring it home, or you can take the things out and dump it back in your suitcase. But it's a really great way to keep the dirty clothes away from the clean clothes and to keep your hotel room neat and tidy by having a laundry bag on hand with you. For the next tip, I'm going to talk about having spare room in your suitcase. If you are traveling somewhere that you know that you're going to either go shopping, maybe there's a great outlet mall near where you're going to be staying, or you're going to be buying souvenirs and bringing those home, don't forget to allow room in your luggage, especially if you're flying. Allow room for those extra pieces that you'll be bringing home with you. This will save you from having to carry a bunch of extra things on the airplane or having to leave something behind because you don't have room in your vehicle. So be sure to think about if you're going to be bringing something back with you, leave spare room for that. I'm not typically someone who packs for the what if or just in case, but the one thing that I do like to have just in case is medicine on hand. I have a few different brands that I prefer for medicine for my children, and those are liquid bottles. And so if we're going to be going somewhere, first of all, I already have it on hand, so I don't want to have to buy it and spend the money while I'm somewhere else, just in case I happen to need some sort of allergy medicine or cold and sinus medicine. but also it may be difficult for me to find it where I'm at. So I'll grab a gallon Ziploc bag and just hop in my pantry and pull those items out, put them in that Ziploc bag and throw that in my suitcase. Something I've recently discovered, and it's one of my favorite purchases for a vacation, is this great little medicine travel little kit here. You can see it fits right in my hand. It's very small. It's magnetic and you open it up, and I've added my own little labels to it. I will definitely link this in the notes below. What I have put in here is just the basic medicines that I feel like we would need. Something for headache, sinus medicine, motion sickness medicine, Benadryl just in case of some form of allergy situation. This has been a really, really great tool. Now I just keep it in my purse, and so I travel with it all the time. But especially if you're traveling somewhere out of the country, or maybe you're going on a cruise or somewhere like that, it is definitely very difficult to get a hold of the medicines that you're used to, or you're going to pay a really high price to get those. And so this is something that barely takes up any room, and that way you have peace of mind and know that you already have those on hand. I have traveled via flying and with a cruise with this little pack. And I've had some people ask me, well, do they stop you because it's out of the bottle or any of that? Absolutely not. And I was recommended this little pack by a friend who travels really often, and she has it with her all the time. She also has prescription medicines in it, and there's never been any problem. So let me know if you've had any issue with that, but so far I haven't had any, and it has definitely been a thing that I have enjoyed having it with me, and it makes my life so much more simple, and I absolutely know that I am prepared just in case anybody gets sick. My last tip for you is to always keep a toiletry bag packed. I will link in the notes below my favorite toiletry bag. It fits everything I need and everything I need for my daughter. I put her stuff in that bag as well. And by having it always packed, I can just grab it and go. I will grab it and I know that I have all the things that I need. And then when I get back from my trip, I'll leave it on my counter. And before I pack it away, I'll just be sure to refill any of the bottles with anything that I need. Maybe before you go on the trip, double check and make sure all the stuff is in it. But if you have a toiletry bag that has all of the items that you use on a regular basis, has travel size of those things, that way you know that you are always prepared just in case the opportunity arises and you get to go on a vacation. I hope you have something wonderful planned for this summer, somewhere exotic, maybe a beach or the mountains or wherever your favorite place is. I hope you have that planned for this summer. And speaking of the summer, I have a blog post, have a video that I'll link right here for you that talks about how that I keep my kids from coming up to me and saying, Mom, I'm bored all summer long. It's all about the summer list that I have for my kids to keep boredom at bay and also to help me keep my sanity, because sanity is definitely something that we need in our lives, as well as margin for the good things. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, and be notified when the next video goes live.